Hello everybody, I'm Jason Wong. I am a realtor broker here in the state of Hawaii. This segment I want to talk about for homeowner once they sold their properties, whether it's a condo or houses, they always try to figure out what are they going to repurchase back. It really depends on what kind of stages you are in. So if let's say you are in your retirement age or you are almost at your retirement age, um, if you were used to living in a house, you may be thinking about should really think about moving into a condo living environment. I know a lot about house owner, I should say, house owner, they really don't like association, they don't like bylaws, they don't like HOA fee because they think like, why do I have to listen to some other people to tell me what I can or cannot do? But when a person is getting older, no matter how independent you were when you're younger, when you're at the retirement age, more or less you do needs to depends on a third party or good neighbor to help out for many different things in life. And the thing is, it's good that if you have a perfect health and also perfect appetite to go and eat and do everything. However, human being is just it's not like machine. We don't. There will be time that we know our body, the metabolism will slow down. Our body, our organs and our body will show aging. It's just a natural way of how all the living things will have this cycle. So the thing is, living in the condo, to be really fair, yes, the bylaw, the association sometimes may be quite tedious to deal with, especially some of the association or board of directors may have their own so-called conflict of interest. However, you have the right, to get yourself nominated and also get involved with the board become one of the board members. That's how I want to say it. So if you try and you did win, then you will get involved. So in other words, then you are part of the community and you are trying to serve your serve many goods to kind of benefit for all the neighbors who are living in the same community. So in many way, condo living may not be a really bad idea if you are at the retirement age. On the contrary, if it is a wed couple, they own a condo and then they sold a condo, but they are expecting a child or one or two in the upcoming years. They definitely may be thinking about should get a small if townhouse idea here in Honolulu is not that popular, but I think for a small house would be a decent like a plantation style house would be a good starting point. The thing is you don't want to get a really huge house in the beginning if it is only two people. But if you are planning to have a children, having a house to me personally, I think is very critical to give a very positive uh, environment for your children because they can run around in the yard, they can play sport, they can do many things around the house, which is different from a condo. And the thing is, because you have more headcount in the house, down the road, then you may have more helps because your children may help you to doing some upkeeping for the yard work, the garden, and also some of the maintenance, minor maintenance things inside outside of the house. So I think if you're raising a family, definitely you should really thinking about having buying a house rather than living in a condo. And also because in a condo, some of the condo they have a bylaws or house rules saying about they don't want to have any like loud children or loud babies as like I mean noise. I shouldn't be saying loud baby or loud children, but just noises coming from the unit because some of the partition of these condo may be paper thin, so So whatever things that happens within the unit, the sound will transmit through the wall, and your neighbor actually may generate excessive noise, and then it may wake up your babies and your children when they go to sleep. So I think if people they prepare to have their babies and have children, they should be thinking about getting a small house in the beginning, and the commitment with a house is really good because like the roofing, termite, preventative treatment. Once you have it, you just kind of upkeep it, making sure everything is good. And the plumbing is also something that if when you do the home inspection before you acquire the property, home inspector usually can give you a kind of like a ballpark estimate about how good or how bad the plumbing happens in the house. And also for the electrical wire, I know about there are lots of houses, doesn't matter what neighborhood. A lot of houses they are quite old. They may be built in the they may be more than 80 or even 90 years old. Like in Kaimuki, Kahala, Manoa. Actually, not Kahala. So, Manoa, Kaimuki. Those places you probably have a lot of and Dowsett and Nuanu, like Opali, all of these kind of like a historic neighborhood. Houses over there are usually quite old. If the current homeowner they live there for more than 40 to 50 years, some of them they may not be able to kind of do all the upgrade, or when they're living in the house they don't feel anything wrong about the plumbing or the electrical, so they just kind of let be. And also usually for those big houses or historic houses, when they start out, they may have a big family occupy the whole compound. But down the road, you maybe just end up maybe the caregiver and also the older couple living over there. So the capacity of using all these utility would be much lower compared to if it is a family of four. They are in the prime age. So to go into a house like that, more or less more people flushing the toilet, more people drawing power for computer, charging station, lighting, all of those, and computer. So all these will kind of like overload the utility system. So that is one thing that people have to kind of watch out if they are planning to move into the houses. But for people who are planning to have a family, houses, I mean, there's no doubt about people should really try to get into a modest houses. Neighborhood wise, as long as it is not really dangerous, and also is how should I say, something that you feel comfortable when you're walking around daytime or evening, and you find your neighbors around the neighborhood are very friendly. They do kind of look after each other, so those will be good. When I say bad neighborhood, it's not about typecast about like a certain neighborhood is bad. What I mean bad neighborhood is if you go to a neighborhood that neighbors they don't really know each other, that's a bad neighborhood. That's what I call a bad neighborhood. Bad neighborhood is you don't know your neighbor and your neighbor doesn't know you. So let's say if there's any emergency, or there's any really, I mean, fire is really one of the common things happen in wooden houses. So if there's a fire or anything, they don't know who will be in the other houses, how many people are in the houses, how to contact the other homeowner to let them know about there's a fire, or anything, considered as an emergency. So the thing is, the bad neighborhood definition by me is about how friendly and how outgoing like the neighbors are. Good neighborhood is really about neighbors. They look after each other. There's no better way to have a good neighbors than just having relative, because relatives sometimes they can only do so much, but having good neighbors they can go a long way.